AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Julian Council will be here in 15 minutes from right now. Julian is a friend who covers Carolina Panthers, does radio, and also the host of Locked On Panthers. We'll get a look at of the New Orleans Saints opponent this week as the Saints head up to Charlotte to take on the Carolina Panthers. Our friends over at WAFB Television, since we've been on air, this dropped via Freedom of Information Records request, obtained an email from Brian Kelly on the day that he was fired, 2 Sundays ago, addressed to Scott Woodward, Verge Ausberry, Julie Cromer, and Austin Thomas. And They published the email. It's not very long. I'll read it to you, but there's one sort of there's two interesting things herein for me anyway. One of them is pretty obvious as it pertains to one of the biggest storylines that have dominated this conversation over the last 7 days. So Kelly wrote this email, and by the way, this is up at LouisianaSports.net if you want to go see it. Kelly writes, sending a quick note to confirm that following my termination during our meeting today, I will return all LSU materials in my possession as required by my contract. Let me know if it's better for me to clean out my office or if you would prefer to pack everything up and send it to me. I assume HR will be in touch regarding the other housekeeping matters out there. But let me know if you need anything else from me in the meantime. As we discussed in our meeting, I'm open to your desire to reach a settlement of what's owed to me under the contract, although, of course, it would have to make sense financially. Despite your decision to let me go today, I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to lead this program over the last 4 years and wish you all the best going forward. Best, Brian. So, 2 things. Number one, there was a report. I'll say it was Bruce Feldman. Bruce Feldman reported that it was a very contentious meeting with Brian Kelly, where he had certain demands put upon him. He refused. They went back and forth. It was angry, and then he was fired. I was told and reported something very different. And the email recipients should tell you who were part of that conversation. Scott, Verge, Julie, Austin, and Brian. What I was told is that meeting where Scott Woodward fired Brian Kelly was very cordial. It lasted about 5 minutes. There was no contentious behavior there. There were no demands put on Brian Kelly to fire anybody or else. He was just told he didn't have support and that they were letting him go. He was going to be fired. He accepted it and left. When you read the tone of the email Brian Kelly sent, again, so this was Sunday, just after the meeting where he was fired, doesn't the tone of that email suggest that he took it in a very professional manner? That's certainly one of my takeaways reading this. The other part, as you probably guess, is Brian Kelly saying that he is open to a settlement. The line is, as we discussed in our meeting, I'm open to your desire to reach a settlement of what's owed me under the contract, although, of course, it would have to make sense financially. So to reiterate, from my understanding of how that day played out, that meeting with Brian Kelly and the LSU brass who were addressed in that email was a little before noon when he was told he was being let go. And then a short time later is when Brian Kelly's agent, Trace Armstrong, got involved to negotiate the buyout. I'm told LSU did make an offer that was rejected. And there's been a lot of different reports about his buyout and who committed what or contributed, and there's been different language used. But I'll continue to say, to the best information that I have, is there is no settlement agreement, that there has not been a single booster. And look, and the governor, by the way, on AFR last week said that a single booster has not stepped up to pay the buyout or even the lion's share of the buyout. So this has not been settled yet. And I also don't necessarily think it's a great surprise. I guess the best way that I would say this is, look, sometimes those contracts are structured. Mark Stoops is a good example at Kentucky. So if Kentucky fires Mark Stoops, they'd owe him, I think the number is $40 million. It's in that range. But they have to pay him like within 60 days. So they've got to come up with the lump sum now. Brian Kelly's buyout isn't a lump sum payment. He would be paid out over the duration of the contract. So it would be that number. I mean, you could take a look. It was a 10-year, $95 million contract. So over 10 years, it averages out to about just a little under $800,000 a month. So basically, his contract is that he would be paid 90% of the balance of the contract over the remainder of time. So it would just be monthly installments over the remainder of that deal over the next 6 years. So Brian Kelly could, in theory, just sit back for the next 6 years and get $800K a month from LSU. Or they could say, hey, look, you can do that, or we can give you X now, one big lump sum, or two big lump sums. This is actually one of the things I was told, is that they offered him two different lump sum payments at a lesser number. Which I was told he rejected, and I don't blame him. It was a dramatically lower number than the $53 million he's owed. But think of it like you win the lottery. Do you want to take the lump sum or the annuity? I mean, if we were all so lucky to have the opportunity to make that decision. But like, do you want to take the lump sum, which is smaller, or the annuity, which is you get paid over the duration of your life, however many years that would be, for the full amount of the buyout? Most everyone takes the lump sum. You want it all now. So that's kind of the decision that Brian Kelly would have to make. Whatever offer LSU made, could they reach an agreement on a lesser number, and a lump sum that they pay him now, or does he get paid over 6 years? Ed Ogeron, for example, got paid over many years. I think Ed's final payment is next month. I think it's December of this year is the final payment of Ed's buyout. So he'll just go straight from Ed Ogeron's buyout into Brian Kelly's buyout, in theory, if it goes that way. But the other reason why Brian Kelly might be willing to settle is because if he does want to coach again, remember there's mitigation in his contract. So if he gets a new deal, his buyout is offset by the amount he gets paid. So let's say he goes and gets another coaching job and he makes $3 million a year. I'm just throwing out a number. I really don't know. Well, then his buyout number is reduced by that $3 million per year, or the total value of that contract. Whereas if he took a lump sum, he gets the whole thing now, and he can move on. Like, that's ultimately what happened with Les Miles, where he was collecting buyout money. Then he wanted to go coach Kansas. And so the clause effectively said, all right, with the remainder of this, let's negotiate the lesser number so we can be done with this and you can go coach Kansas. So from LSU's perspective, it would be very beneficial financially if Brian Kelly got another job. I don't believe he's going to coach next year. That's just my opinion. That I think Brian Kelly's more likely to go do TV or something like that, try to do media instead of coaching again somewhere else. Again, just an opinion, not anything that I know definitively. But this, at least, if nothing else, I think shows you two things. One, his exit was cordial. It was not contentious, angry yelling. It was cordial. And number two, he is open to a settlement, which makes sense, but the numbers clearly haven't made sense yet. And we'll see if LSU can ever re-engage in these conversations and maybe get some type of an agreement to get that number down and both parties can move on. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Hump Day edition of AFR. We are brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. It's their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment that I tell you about every single day. And when I say patented non-toxic, remember, patented means nobody else can do it. And then non-toxic means it's non-toxic. It's safe for your family, for your pets, for your plants. You don't have to move furniture out. You're not ripping out sheetrock, pulling out carpet, anything like that. They just come in, they spray, close up all the windows, doors, let that fog dwell. It'll kill everything down to the spores. And then you go back in, clean, sanitize, great smelling, all of it. Parish Restoration. Parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Okay, y'all. Russ Mitchell in 1 hour. We'll get his thoughts on all of this. We'll preview the weekend ahead in the Southeastern Conference, including LSU at Alabama. When we come back, Saints are on the road again this week. 3 road games for New Orleans. All 3 losses by double digits. Oh, well, I guess 4 now. 4 road games, all 4 road losses by double digits. They're back on the road again this week in Carolina against one of the surprise teams in the NFL, the 5-4 Panthers, who have matched their win total of a season ago already here in year 2 under Dave Canales. We'll head up to Charlotte. Julian Council will join us next. Preview the Panthers. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown, Renaissance Baton Rouge, sprawling, gorgeous hotel right there on Blue Bonnet across from the Mall of Louisiana and Perkins Row with 13,000 square feet of meeting space. Just a few weeks ago, as a matter of fact, was at a charity event at Renaissance Baton Rouge. They had the whole ballroom open. You can have your event there. If it's a fundraiser, if it's an awards banquet, several years back, the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters had their, when the LAB Awards were in Baton Rouge, they had the awards banquet at Renaissance Baton Rouge. We had our LouisianaSports.net launch party last year at Renaissance Baton Rouge in the area between Tallulah and the Terrace, right there. Indoor-outdoor flow, great vibe. If it's wedding receptions or any type of event you're looking to have, there's no better place in Baton Rouge than Renaissance Baton Rouge. Call Allison Crump today at Renaissance Baton Rouge.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com. Who dat say they're gonna beat them Saints? Let's head behind enemy lines to preview this week's matchup.
I love when he runs the ball. He runs physically, and when he finishes his runs, makes the DBs have to show up and make decisions about whether they want to put a shoulder on him or not. Gets the group going, and the guys get really animated when he finishes runs, in a violent manner and want to get behind and push. So, and he's done a great job of that just consistently, with the opportunities he's had.
Dave Canales, Panthers head coach, talking about Rico Dowdle, and I tell you, one of the surprise teams in the NFL this year at 5-4. They've already matched their win total of a season ago. Julian Council, locked on Panthers. He's on Twitter at Julian Council. Easy enough. How are you, dude?
Doing well, man. How are you, man?
The Saints stink and LSU is a dumpster fire. Let's just talk about the game.
Yeah, I was enjoying all the dumpster fireness of LSU last week, but it looks like maybe they've kind of gotten their stuff together over the last 48 hours.
Let's not revel in our misery. Let's stay on task here, Julian. Come on, man. Okay. Seriously though, Panthers, how've they done it?
Dude, great question, because I'm still trying to figure out how they've done it. They've done it by having a plan. Because for a while there, once David Tepper bought the team, there wasn't a coherent plan, especially when they gave Cam Newton the option to go seek a trade a couple of years ago, back when Matt Rule was too scared to coach him. They had no coherent plan at quarterback. We've seen that as Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold have left for greener pastures and had success individually in Tampa and in Seattle. And since then, at least they stuck to a plan of, okay, this is the guy we want to go after in Bryce Young. We're going to give up a lot to go get him, but they're going to stick by him. And things were a little shaky at the beginning of last season, but as we saw, second half of the year, Bryce looked like the guy that they were hoping he would be and the guy he looked like at Alabama. And still this season, he maybe has not played to that level, but he's been consistent. And also, the offensive line was always an issue. They invested the most money in the NFL at that position this season. Defensive line, you get Derek Brown back, add more pieces to that side of the ball as well on the D-line. And what do you know? You have a competent defense. So having a coherent plan and not changing coaches every year has them to the point where they're just a competent football team, Matt. Not a great football team, not a bad football team, competent, which is a long way from where they've been in recent years.
And in a bad division, you're very much in the mix if you're the Panthers for a wild card shot. It's absolutely within the realm of possibility. And look, Rico Dowdle's a big part of that, man. We heard the soundbite from Dave Canales coming in. Give me your impression about the guy averaging nearly 6 yards a carry so far through 9 games.
Did not see that coming at all. And if anyone did, I don't think he would have been signing to come to Carolina to be the number 2 back behind Chuba Hubbard for $2.75 million with another $3.5 million available in incentives. And he's going to get those incentives, by the way. He's already got $500,000. $3 million is certainly remaining that he can absolutely get to based on his performance.
Him.
And if they,
Good for him.
It's awesome. And that has a lot of people asking, so what did the Panthers do about Rico next year? Like, y'all, just enjoy what he's done so far over the last couple of weeks. Like, those are February and early March conversations. We don't need to have that. The team's 5-4 for the first time since 2019. So just focus on how well he's playing. But yeah, man, he runs hard. And that's the thing about him. Like, it's not like Chuba Hubbard didn't do that, but there's a burst and explosiveness that you're seeing out of Rico that you didn't see from Chuba to start off this season. And I'm kind of curious how that will all play out after the year. But right now, you have statistically one of the top 3 backs in the league. We can look at since week 5 when he started that game against Miami that he's the leading rusher in the NFL. But throw that away. Go back to week 1. He's 3rd in rushing, and there's a ton of EPA categories, explosive rushing rate that have him in the top 3, even number 2 behind Jonathan Taylor up in Indianapolis, and he has been the best back in the league this year. So, yeah, Rico's been a revelation, and honestly, if they didn't have him, they're not 5-4 because it's not like they've gotten a lot out of the passing game so far this season. So he has been their offense, and he has been just outstanding.
Yeah, the Panthers are 30th in the NFL in passing offense. So really, they're clearly doing it on the ground. Team started 1-3, but they've won now 4 of their last 5. But I want to ask Julian, look at the last 2 games: a 40-9 home loss to the Bills, and then go on the road to Lambeau and beat the Packers 16-13. Like, you could not have 2 more diametrically opposed results. So, which is more these Panthers?
Yeah, it's not the first time that's happened either because they beat Atlanta 30-0. I don't think much of the Saints. I'm sure you don't. I know your audience certainly doesn't. But they win 30-0 in that game and then go back the next week and lose 42-13 against a Patriots team that we didn't know yet was good. The next week, New England won on Sunday night in Buffalo. So it's like, okay, they're a good football team. Maybe not that big of a deal. But you're right. To lose 40-9 at home, and I'll tell you the demographics here in Charlotte, there's a lot of Bills fans. That was actually really a Bills home game than a Panthers home game. Either way, you lost by 31 points at home to a very good Bills team. How in the world are you going to win in Green Bay? I didn't think they were going to be competitive at all in that football game because I had seen them get blown out by New England and by Buffalo by a combined 60 points. And I had seen them beat the Jets, beat who else is bad? Miami, and see that, okay, clearly they're not a terrible team, but they're clearly not a great football team. So maybe they're like right there in the middle. So I still think after the win against the Packers, that's what they are because there's still games against 49ers, against the Rams, 2 against Tampa, who I think will win the division, and a game against Seattle and Sam Darnold, their old friend from his time in Carolina. So I still feel like after the upset, they're probably on track to be an 8-win team, which is so much better than where they've been again. So I think they're more of still one of those middle-of-the-road teams that's going to be in the hunt for the playoffs. but I don't think it's going to be a playoff team. Now, if they are able to obviously pull off an upset against some of these other teams later on, then they're a lot better than I thought they were. But I have not seen enough out of Bryce Young and the passing game in particular to believe that they really can be that next tier of teams in the league.
Julian Council is with us at Julian Council. We can get him on X, Locked On Panthers podcast, YouTube. Get it where you find your podcast or there on YouTube. So we talked about the offense, right? I mean, one of the top running games in the league, one of the worst passing games in the league. What about defensively? Where's the strength defensively for Carolina?
The strength has been stopping the run, which was the major weakness last year when they gave up 3,000 yards rushing on the ground and had the worst scoring defense in the history of the NFL. I understand 17 games were played last year. That hasn't always been the case. Doesn't matter. You're living in infamy there with the way they play defensively. Now, getting Derek Brown back is obviously important. He got hurt in that game against New Orleans week 1 last year. Tore his meniscus, was out for the 16 games the rest of the way. Him coming back in, you see it every single week. I don't know if you follow Brian Baldinger of the NFL Network on Twitter, but every week he's showing you just Derek Brown ragdolling another 300-pound man in front of him on the interior of offensive line. So that's just some sick stuff that he's doing. But A'Shaun Robinson's been really good. So with Bobby Brown III, who came over from the Rams, and same thing also with Turk Wharton, who came over from Kansas City. They really wanted to invest on the interior, and that's been a strength. And it's not just those guys. You have someone like Christian Roseboom, who had struggled early on in the season, had his best game on Sunday against the Packers. Trevin Wallace's second year as a starter at inside linebackers really come of age. Trevon Barrett, who was Defensive Player of the Week in the NFC, he's also been one of those guys who actually step up in the box and make some plays. So the strength of the defense has been stopping the run. They had that one, which seems to be an outlier performance against Buffalo, who's one of the best running teams in the league a couple of weeks ago. But last week against the Packers team that maybe should focus more on passing, they were right back to their old ways like they were against Dallas and against Miami and some of the other teams where they had that 3-game stretch where they only allowed 131 yards on the ground. So stopping the run, which was a major weakness, has now become a major strength for this team. At least has been a strength for the defense.
The Saints near the bottom of the league, averaging just 129 yards a game on the ground. It's been not great. What would be Julian, Carolina's blueprint Sunday to get a win, move to 6-4?
Take care of your business. Just show up. Honestly, if we looked at how New Orleans has played this season, like this is one of those games where I look at the way they played against the Jets. They didn't play well, but the Jets are the Jets, and they shoot themselves in the foot by making mistakes. And New Orleans, as I've seen, has turned the ball over 14 times so far this season, which is right there among the bottom of the league. So if you just take care of the ball and you keep handing it to Rico, who hasn't been stopped, and he did miss practice today with a quad injury, which is something that looked like it popped up against Green Bay, but he played through it. I'm not expecting he'll miss any time on Sunday. You just hand it to Rico, get enough out of Bryce, because they got only 102 passing yards on Sunday, and they beat the Packers. So I'm not expecting you need to have 200, 300-yard passing day from Bryce in order to win the game on Sunday against the Saints. It's just be able to win the turnover battle, hand the ball to Rico, and the defense just stop the run and put the game on Tyler Shuck's shoulders, and that should be enough, I would think, against a one-win team.
Julian Council, Locked On Panthers. Get him on Twitter, X at Julian Council. Always appreciate it, man. Thanks for the time.
Absolutely, Matt. We'll be staying tuned to see what happens the next month and a half down there in Baton Rouge.
It's never boring, man. I'll tell you that much.
No, it's not.
Good to catch up, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care.
Hi, buddy. Be well. Julian Council, good dude. We've been able to connect a lot over the years, SEC Media Days and different events. Does a great job. Check out Good week to check out Locked On Panthers if you want to get your Panthers content this week with the Saints heading up to Charlotte. Hey, we're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. That's southpointvw.com for South Point Volkswagen. Always great deals. Remember, when you are Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, you're always going to be able to offer great deals to your customers. Like right now, 2025 Atlas for 0.9% for 60 months. 2025 Taos S, 0% for 60 months. 5 years, 0% for 5 years. What are we talking about? Volkswagen deal days are going on right now at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, or online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Remember, the certified pre-owned vehicles as well. Always great deals over at South Point Volkswagen. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, y'all, glad to have you hanging out with us here. Thanks, Julian Council, for hopping aboard. Russ Mitchell will be here in 45 minutes. If you haven't heard, the sort of news of the day today is that the LSU's new president, Dr. Wade Roos, was at an event in New Orleans today at UNO, and he spoke to Piper Hutchinson of the Louisiana Illuminator and sort of walked back the idea that Verge Osbury is the full-time AD. Said he removed the interim tag, but doesn't really know the difference between permanent and removing the interim tag, which there is no difference. If you're no longer the interim, then you have the job full time. But apparently that's not the case. So I will be waiting with bated breath to see what happens now. But the alignment, the uniformity that LSU appeared to have yesterday, now again is sort of flipped on its head. So we'll continue to follow that as we move along. All right, it is after further review. LSU is going to play a football game this weekend. They're going to go to Tuscaloosa and take on Alabama. Frank Wilson getting his team ready for this challenge. He updated that prep today on the SEC Coaches Teleconference. You'll hear from Coach Frank and some of the players next on AFR.
After further review.
And tomorrow, AFR will be over at Court to Table on Burbank, and very pleased to let you know that Gordon McKernan will be with us on site at 5 o'clock Central Time live. So we're excited to talk to Gordon about everything that's transpired, man. The coaching change, what it means for LSU, the presidential hire, all that stuff. Gordon, of course, a great booster at LSU, but also a great community member. And Gordon gives back in so many ways. Matter of fact, that's the charitable arm of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Gordon Gives. Go to GordonGives.com, GordonGives.com, GordonGives.com. You want to see all the different ways that Gordon gives back, all the different philanthropy and philanthropic endeavors that the Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys team has. So all over the state of Louisiana, remember, of course, if you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Go to GetGordon.com, GetGordon.com, GetGordon.com. We'll see you tomorrow at Court to Table. Get Gordon. Get it done.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
We're going to fight this team. We're going to pick a fight and set the tone from the onset of the game. I'd like our fans at the end of the game to be proud and say, okay, all right, here we go. That's what we're used to. That's our Tigers in style of play. I don't know what the outcome will be. Here's what I can tell you, though. We're going to pick a fight, all right? We're going to talk with our helmets and our shoulder pads in the right way, in the way that Tigers play.
Frank Wilson was a guest with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn on Off the Bench Wednesday morning. And, you know, you hear often the phrase interim bump, and that's kind of why. Listen, when there's an interim coach, generally the reason there's an interim coach is because things went badly, right? I mean, you came into the season with championship aspirations. You were preseason top 10. You had the number 1 portal class. You spent nearly $20 million on this roster. You beat Clemson. You gotten all the way up to number 3 in the country. You were on everybody's radar. I was looking at some odds earlier today. After week 1, LSU had a 68% chance of making the playoff. Not winning the championship, but it is a great upset that you are not in that conversation right now, along with teams like Miami and Penn State, other teams at Clemson that were there in that conversation at the beginning of the season that no longer are front and center in that conversation. So things have gone badly. So you get an interim coach. Generally, it's a chance to reset, where instead of getting mired in what was wrong and what has been ailing your team throughout the course of this season, it is a sort of a line of demarcation to say what happened. Now let's just play the next 4 games. Go have fun and see what happens. It feels like the start of a new season. It is a new beginning. And a lot of times you have corny motivational tactics, and yeah, they're corny, but if you get buy-in, that's all that matters. You and I can think it's silly, but if the guys think it matters, that's all that matters. And so Frank Wilson has this thing that he's calling the all-in drum that he explained on the teleconference today.
You know, it's something I learned years ago from Pete Carroll, and over the years I have continued to carry with us since probably 2005, and it representing the drum being the heartbeat of the football team and making clear understanding and distinction that when the football goes into play, the game starts. At the end of the game, the referee will hoist the ball above his shoulders, indicating the game is over. So for our special teams unit, they breathe life into the game. And so being a tone setter, whether it's the kickoff return team, the kickoff coverage team, is pivotal to us to be able to start fast and breathe life into the game. And so I wanted to bring that symbolism, if you will, of the heartbeat. So we could charge our special teams, we could charge our team that when the ball goes in play, life has been injected into us. And we use the drum to be symbolic of that.
I mean, got the drum, got the heartbeat, got the Pete Carroll references. All he's got to do is break out the binder, and we are right back into 2016. I mean, we just hopped into that DeLorean, cranked that thing up to 88 miles an hour. We are right back in 2016 right now. For what it's worth, Trey-Dez Green, he loves the all-in drum.
So it's like the heartbeat. So right before special teams, they symbolize the heartbeat. They beat do-do, do-do. And they get faster and faster and faster and faster. And then the special teams coordinator come in and special teams, ready. It's great. It gets us pumped. It gets us hype.
Get some hype. West Weeks, speaking with reporters, asked about the vibe. What's the vibe like this week with Frank Wilson out there?
I think it's been good. I think he's doing a great job bringing the guys together, really keeping us together and bringing energy every day for us. So we're still one team, and I still feel like we're all together. So it's been good.
He wanted to say one heartbeat so bad. We're one team. Why he wanted to say it so bad? Braylon Moore. He likes Frank Wilson's style.
Yeah, he's very calm and collected, but fiery at the same time. Like he'll come in here and talk and just be real smooth, and then all of a sudden he's firing, he's screaming, and it just wakes everyone up. I think we need that, and they're incorporating different things to just kind of bring up the energy and kind of change it a little bit. And I really loved it.
Okay, so a lot of that now is pretty obvious, right? Frank Wilson, who is a great communicator, a great motivator, a great relationship builder. It's why he's been an awesome recruiter. This is the situation where he thrives. Not that dissimilar from Ed Ogeron. Like those commonalities, right? Those similarities in their personality are why they're great in these situations. Amid chaos, you can get people to believe. Ed was great at that. Frank is great at that. Is it going to net results on Saturday against Alabama? We'll see. I don't know. LSU's going to have to play a heck of a lot better, but one of the things that they're going to have to do clearly, and that Frank Wilson has talked about, is being physical. On Monday, when Frank Wilson met with reporters, said Blake Baker came up to him and said he needs a physical run period in practice to simulate that for the defense. Well, in that interview with Off the Bench on Wednesday, is number 3, Frank Wilson talked about the physicality. Remember, Frank said to Blake Baker, he's like, you want a physicality in practice? You got it. Well, that was Tuesday's practice. How'd it go?
They embraced it. Certainly, it was controlled. We didn't take people to the ground. But in the trenches, in that box, in spaces, there's opportunity to be sincere with contact. As we say, kiss him with your face mask. Uncoil your hips. All right, you fit him and let him run. And so it was thud, but it was one that our kids enjoyed, had fun in doing so. And you know what? We can do that. We can block that. We can run that. We can fit that at warp speed. And so we challenged our team to do so, and they responded in a very positive manner.
Kiss him with your face mask. Kiss him with your face mask. Yeah. And one more. This was Braylon Moore, if you want the other side. This was the offense. This is Braylon Moore on the offensive side talking about the physicality of practice.
I would just say there's a big point of emphasis on playing physical and running the ball. Everything starts at the line of scrimmage and the run game. If we can run the ball, it opens everything else up. Our offense has been the most successful when we're able to run the ball. We need to do that.
It's not a surprise. It's not a secret. It's like, I'm an idiot. I'm just a 43-year-old bald guy who 25 years ago played offensive line in high school. No glory days here whatsoever. You got 2 NFL players that sit in these chairs in the morning. everyone is smarter than me. Everyone. I'm not smart. I know you have to run the football. Like, it's very obvious. It's very obvious. Your offensive line can't protect your quarterback. It's affected your quarterback's ability to be accurate and let things develop down the field. It's not been that you can't run the football. It's been that you won't run the football. LSU has 225 rushing attempts on the season. That's near the bottom of the country in attempts. You have to be willing to try. You can't go to Ole Miss and have rushing attempts on consecutive plays twice the whole game. You can't have one rushing attempt by a running back in the entire first half. Like, you can't do that and have success. You can't have Harlem Berry average 7 yards a carry in the first half against A&M, give him the ball in the first play of the third quarter, then he never touches it again. Like, that is not a winning formula. Like, again, I'm an idiot, and I know that. Now, the change you have energy and buy-in. You have physicality in practice. And you have a head coach who is the running backs coach and a play caller that is an offensive lineman that is going to focus on running the ball. I will tell you there is one thing I am certain of Saturday. One thing. I have no idea how the LSU may lose 42-7. I have no idea how the game's going to play out. Nuss may get sacked 7 times. The defense, Ty Simpson may run for 100 yards in this game. He's run for 70 yards all season. He may run for 100 in this game. I don't know. I have no one may guard Ryan Williams or it could be a disaster. I have no idea how the game's going to go. One thing that I am certain of is that when the game is over and we look at the box score, you will look at the rushing attempts on the season, and the percentage of rushing attempts is going to be the highest it's been all year. It has to be. It's the single biggest, most obvious change that the people running this thing now will make, as opposed to Joe Sloan calling plays prior with Brian Kelly as the head coach. They are just going to commit to running the football. And it may not work. They may get stuffed. They may run for 1.2 yards a carry. They may get run out of Brian Dennehy Stadium. I don't know. But it's evident. Like, they're telling you they're going to run the football. Frank Wilson saying we're going to pick a fight with our helmets and shoulder pads. Physicality in practice. The all-in drum. I mean, he's pulling out all the stops. Said 2 weeks, try to get healthy, get dudes out there, and get rolling. One team, one heartbeat. Let's go. Love me some interim ed. I didn't love full-time ed. Love me some interim ed. Let's go, interim Frank. See what you got. All right, it's after further review. Oh, we're brought to you by Evermore. Dude, Russ. Guess what got him?
Who? I don't know.
Russ.
Oh, Russ. What got Russ? Oh, no.
What do you think got him? What happened this weekend?
Oh, dude, I am so in the dark right now. I'm sorry.
That's okay, Muse. Daylight savings. Russ lives in Arizona. They don't do daylight savings. So he missed the time.
Oh, dear Lord, Russ.
He's an hour off. He's so stupid. Anyway, Russ in 30 minutes from right now. It's after further review. We are brought to you by Evermore. EVAMOR, Evermore.com, Evermore.com. Drink Evermore. I got mine on set with me every single day. It's at my desk upstairs on the 4th floor. It's at my house. EVAMOR, Evermore.com. Big shout out to everybody. When you see it, a lot of you snap photos, you tweet me, you send me DMs, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be on the text line. I love screenshotting those, sending them off to Shane and the whole team over at Evermore. They love to see that as well. They love the AFR community embracing y'all. It's a Louisiana company. It's a Louisiana product. It's natural artesian water right there on the North Shore in Tangipahoa Parish in Covington. It's Evermore, EVAMOR. You want to find great local retailers that sell Evermore, go to the website, evermore.com, evermore.com, and you can order it online at evermore.com. I take my swig. I drink a lot of Evermore. And I pee a lot, too. Muse can confirm. Muse and Paulie can confirm.
Normally happens when you drink a lot of water. Yeah.
I pee a lot. It's good. It's healthy. It's very healthy.
Correct, yes.
All right. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros to wrap up hour number 2 next.
After further review.
Big shout out to our friends over at Duplessis Builders, duplessisbuilders.net. Two things very important to tell about first and foremost. You want a pool or an outdoor kitchen? Duplessis Builders, they can build it for you. And yes, they could do the custom pool or outdoor kitchen to whatever specs you want, as big, grand, and beautiful and palatial as you want. They've done everything. They also have ready-made models at their website. Go to duplessisbuilders.net, pools, outdoor kitchens. You can see they have 11 different pool designs. Just click the Pick Your Pool tab on the homepage. There's 11 different pool designs. You just pick your finishes. Boom. You can choose it right on the website. Pay for it today if you want. Be on the schedule. It's that easy at duplessisbuilders.net. But also, Derek loves to give back. They're doing the Duplessis Dream Pool Sweepstakes, benefiting Dreams Come True of Louisiana. Go to 1045ESPN.com, make a $25 donation to Dreams Come True of Louisiana. You're entered to win a free pool. And they're also partnering with us at Parish Construction and Roofing for the 12 Days of Christmas giveaway. Can't wait to tell you more. duplessisbuilders.net.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. We will get to the Saints' first injury report of the week coming up after SportsCenter. Also, the initial college football playoff rankings are out. I don't care what Honey Boo Boo and the whole crew. Or is it Ward Cleaver? Who is it this year?
Mac Rhodes.
What?
Mac Rhodes. He's from Baylor. Baylor.
Wasn't he at Iowa State?
I have no idea, Matt.
Mac Rhodes at Iowa State. Baylor now? I think he was at Iowa State. So he's at Baylor now.
He's at Baylor now.
Mac Rhodes. Return of the Mac Rhodes.
Return of the
So
Mac
went from
Rhodes.
Honey Boo Boo.
He was at Missouri.
Went from Ward Cleaver, Honey Boo Boo to Ward Cleaver to Return of the Mac Rhodes. Okay. I don't care what any of them had to say, but what's interesting is that there are hypothetical college football playoff odds. Like if the playoff was set up today with what the idiots, the self-important morons in the hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas decided last night, if what they decided last night were the playoff today, what the point spreads would be. We'll get to that after the top of the hour. Kind of interesting just to give you some perspective on what the odds makers in Vegas think about these teams right now. We'll get to that here in just a smidge. Right now, though, Muso has Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, Dan Quinn met with reporters on Wednesday. We have a update on Jaden Daniels, kind of. Quinn said they had the MRI. They are having their final
Dr.
medical Quinn. And medicine woman having their final medical meeting today. To discuss Jaden Daniels' status and what the next steps are. Said they should have
Powder your bull, Chip.
Should have an answer, a formal update the next day or so. They want to get a few more second opinions and things like that. It's been diagnosed early as a dislocated elbow.
Can you get a few second opinions?
Couple, yeah.
Or 1 second opinion.
His quote was a few. I mean, I get what you're saying.
And a fourth opinion.
Yeah. So anyway, couple more injuries. Brian Thomas did not practice today with an ankle. Kayshon Boutte did not practice today with that hamstring that he suffered in the Patriots game on Sunday. And then Mason Taylor was a full participant returning from a knee injury. He's got a knee.
Or he had a knee.
Had a knee. Might still be dealing with the knee a little, but he's practicing in full.
He's practicing with the knee?
With the knee.
Got it.
Fully practicing
Still got the
with
knee.
Still got it. I want to lose the knee.
Need the knee.
This was, academic, but it's official now. Paul Skeens has been named a finalist for the NL Cy Young by the Baseball Writers Association of America. The award will be given out on November 12th. The ceremony starts at 6 p.m. Central. Skeens closed the regular season as the favorite to win that award. Trendon Watford in action again a night ago for the 76ers. 8 points off the bench. Shot 50% from the floor. Fantastic. Also grabbed 4 rebounds. He's been pretty productive so far after signing that multi-year deal in Philly. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gents thinking of popping the question. Remember, Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, they have helped Louisianians get engaged for 4 decades. It's pretty easy. You walk into any Lee Michaels, you're going to have the Lee Michaels experience. Don't be intimidated. If you're not used to buying jewelry, it's okay. They're awesome at what they do, and they do a great job of creating a buying atmosphere where you're comfortable. You're not pressured into buying anything. If you want to buy something, great. If you want to try on 1,000 different rings, look at 1,000 different rings and not buy anything today, great. They want you to be comfortable and thrilled with the purchase, and they want you to be the hero, her to be thrilled. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all, it is after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here as we put a button here on hour number 2. The LSU men's basketball season tips off tonight. Tigers play something called Tarleton State. I understand that's in Texas. Tarleton is not a state, but it is in the state of Texas. I don't know if Tarleton State is any good at all. Jimmy might have a bet for us on that game tonight. Otter Locks are live over at louisianasports.net. The spread tonight for LSU and Tarleton State is Tigers 15.5. And the fact that LSU is not more than a 15.5-point favorite against Tarleton State does give me a little bit of pause, although I don't know anything about Tarleton State. So, I do know they're coached by Billy Gillespie, former Kentucky coach, Billy Gillespie. Yep, Tarleton State, AFR.
AFR.
Maybe you want to buy some land in Tarleton State. You know where you can do that? First South Farm Credit. Now, as we established, Tarleton is not a state. But Tarleton is in rural Texas, so if you would like to buy some land in rural Texas to hunt or to farm, whatever it may be, First South Farm Credit can help you do it. But Scone, I thought they help Louisianians buy land. They do. But they also have offices in Mississippi and in Alabama, and they can help you buy land anywhere in the lower 48. So if you want to buy land in Tarleton State or near Tarleton State in the state of Texas, or maybe you want to buy land in California to open up a vineyard, that'd be fun. I would love to. Ooh, that sounds a lot of fun. That would be a great retirement life. Live in wine country and open up a vineyard. Eat amazing, like fresh foods every day and drink wine that you harvest on the grapes. Ooh. FirstSouthland.com.